Legal method.
What?
Are we required? Sorry. That's not. Is
That's
there?
not how we do it. But it was,
Are we required to do all the Zoom? I just see some Lansing.
Yeah, that's it.
That's basically, I mean, they're on YouTube. It's true.
We have one of those. We want to go on.
You like your feet.
Oh, yeah. Pledge allegiance to the United States of America.
To the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here.
Here.
Here. Okay, so first thing we'll go is move to approve the meeting minutes of October 7, 14, 16, and 22. A lot of dates.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So next up, we have the public hearing on the center line T-Mobile telecommunication and special use plan.
Yeah, Mr. Barger was representing Central Line. He's on Zoom call. This was their application introduced last month. T-Mobile with the 8 antennas and 8 radios up on the vacant tower at 471 Snidell Road. And probably especially this permit and probably secret. So, what's that? Going more than the is on the Zoom call.
Yeah, I made it, which means to share anybody. So. I also need to find that. So the stuff that's on the website now, is that what it can say?
Yep, same stuff. The project under review or that email. Yeah. The site plan is probably the most important thing for that. But yeah, see for draft resolutions. And I don't know, Mr. Morgan, you want to speak to the application?
Yeah, Mr. Morgan, if you want to say anything about the application, otherwise I'm going to just start seeing if there's any public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's not really anything that is out of the realm of normalcy for a project of this scope. Like you guys had pretty much summed up exactly what we're doing very clearly. We're taking space that's available on, I believe this tower is currently vacant. I've never personally set eyes on it myself, so but I don't believe there's any carriers on there now. So T-Mobile's wanting to do that rather than obviously build another tower in the area. This will supplement their coverage for their customers within the town and the surrounding community. And if there are any questions from any of the members, I can take those. But this is pretty straightforward for the project. We're just going to be installing a few antennas onto the tower as well as ground equipment within the current compound.
Sorry, could you speak up a little, Colin?
Yes, sorry. So we are going to be taking, we're going to be installing a couple of antennas on the existing 100-foot tower. as well as installing some ground equipment within the fenced compound. There's not going to be any compound expansion or tower height increase. Everything's going to be going on what's already there.
So I know that the Route 79 corridor and some other areas nearby have poor service. Is there going to improve service on the Route 79 corridor or any of the other areas? I don't know which direction you'll have the antennas facing, if that's in mind.
I believe it's a 3-sector. This is a 3-sector site. So they'll be facing 3 different cardinal directions out of the 4. And that is the idea here is to supplement T-Mobile's existing coverage. So yeah, the idea there is to give the town and its residents obviously better coverage. Obviously, myself included, as you know, most of us are nowadays. It's imperative that we stay connected.
The tower height's not changing.
That is correct. The tower height is not changing. We are actually going to be mounting the center line of our antennas will be at a roughly 95 feet. So it'll be about the tops of the antennas should be right at, or, you know, they'll maybe stick out maybe half a foot above the top of the metal there. If not, no, I'm sorry, they will be at about the same height.
Anybody from the public have any questions? Whether you're on Zoom, is Richard with you too? Or is that somebody else? Richard, hello.
Nope, I'm here myself.
You know, I should know the answer to this, but. Yeah, it's getting bad. So what's the value of this project? What did we-
We've estimated for a site like this, the estimate that we're working off of is anywhere between $75,000 and $100,000.
net taxable infrastructure for us?
I do not, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I am not 100% sure whether or not, because I work all over the Northeast, and every state is different. We don't typically, on my side of it, we only handle the land entitlement and the land use side of these projects. But just speaking from experience, every state, every county is different. So some of them tax it as tangible, others intangible. It just depends on the jurisdiction.
I think Bambi just confirmed that you'll be getting a bill. Thanks, Ed, just,
No, absolutely.
I'm sure there wasn't some state waiver on telecommunications infrastructure.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. Every state's different.
You're pretty good at their carve outs. Well, and no offense.
No, it's all good. None taken.
So we gotta keep this open for a couple of minutes before we close it. So I'm just gonna move down the list. The public hearing is to stay open for 15 minutes. So we're just gonna do some other stuff while we're.
Then we can go through and pass it.
Yeah, that was, we gotta go through and do the, do all the bits. So I'm gonna move to the next thing on the agenda. It's planning department. Ray, you got any? And the report is posted on the website.
Yep. And the only thing I'll call out there is down at the bottom of the first page, we have 54 new ones. Usually we have single digit numbers there. It's 54 because the annual testified 9 Road is about breakdown. So they pulled their permits for the first 3 buildings in there. So there's 53 units. Breaking down December 1st.
Talking about developing that market, long as I've been around. Yeah, but look. So,
If like numbers from other months include the apartment buildings going up where. The south, you know that. Well,
Yeah, that's 28 units. That was full, maybe even last year.
oh, yeah, because I know they just started building this year.
But we've been moved to interior work through the winter and I haven't heard of the open debate. But we started to do stuff.
so we may not, we might have a bid for the rail trail bridge team before our next meeting, so. Stay tuned to that. We'll probably do a press release and do some sort of announcement. This.
Yeah,
December 4th is the big open.
Yeah, you've done a great job managing that process. Appreciate that.
Second time, so.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
well, what are we gonna, oh, it's on the fourth, maybe get a. Do. Prove it to.
It wasn't the regular meetings, yeah, I expect to move first session.
That's good.
Yes, it stays warm, we can break ground and that too.
Okay, so, well, it's been.
Yeah.
Let's go, start going down to the resolutions. The first one is to. Authorize the Dryden Fiber Executive Director to execute documents and agreements for Dryden Fiber. Means I have to look at them.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, he is executive director, so. It's appropriate.
Time is of the essence of this project.
So I will move this.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The next one is a resolution to. Award the shelter site preparation contract for the Dryden Fiber for the Caroline. On it. So this is being awarded to Cell Site Solutions LLC. Value of the contract is for 72,280.24. It's all MIP. We'll move this.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're doing in the Carolina because we're going to management.
So why do we have to, if we're given David the authorization to do these in future, this would be just done by him? Is that correct?
He'll sign off on it, but we have to, I think, still do the award. We have to award the contract, but he'll then get to sign it since.
Okay.
Because otherwise I would be signing it. David will be taking care of it. Right, and then the next thing on the agenda is. To schedule a public hearing on the. Proposed local law amending code to regulate data centers, crypto facilities. Scheduled for the second meeting in December 6:05.
And there's a draft resolution.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing anything with the FEAF tonight. Yeah. Not gonna, just introduce it. prepare the popcorn.
But we're declaring ourselves lead agency.
Um, shoot. Yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah. So that's resolution. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
just. Um. But right, what I was asking, we're not doing the FBA yet.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, just, I know that you're.
So it's just the resolution.
Plan yourself, you can see, yeah, it's part of that resolution.
So we would do, yeah, if we pass the law. Right?
We do it prior to that.
Prior
But
to,
what if we? Do all that and then we decide whether we want to pass the law.
We drop the lines close and.
It seems like if we're not gonna pass it, why do it?
well, I think you might want to do some of it only because of the. Evidence and evidence.
Oh, it provides everybody information.
Yeah, because part of it has to do with when you do a fall, it has all the community issues,
Yeah,
all
there
kinds of other stuff.
Sharing all that information.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna,
So we could have a vote next month on this.
you could, it just depends, like, like I said last week, it's gonna, we have a lot of people show up and comment. Super late.
Yeah.
No, just because.
We can stretch it into another.
Is this super lady less than 2? Well, actually.
Well, I'm curious what people think it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then one was sent it to like 239 review because we got 30 days to pay in December. And we're gonna give them a 30-day time.
yeah. Okay. All right, so I'll just move this resolution, setting a public hearing, establishing us as lead agency. So the public hearing will be December 18th at 6:05.
A second.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And now, I think I can now close the public hearing on the cell tower. So. Guess first thing we'll do is the FEA. We're gonna just scroll through and I'm not gonna read it this week. Unless there's something marked yes, and like right now, the only thing marked yes is impact on land. Number one. That's just because there's gonna be some construction as the site plan show the generator storage.
Yeah, but it's still inside a fenced area, so
Yeah.
it's not impacting any fence at the current fence.
Right.
Okay.
Everything else is marked now or small impact. It's not, again, the tower is already there, so. What was it? There'll be. It's the different. Two sides, yeah.
So impact on aesthetic resources. So it's proposed action may be visible for any officially designated federal, state or local scenic aesthetic resource.
It's been there, so there's no.
Tower over there.
Whatever you would, so you'll be able to see the tenants.
Yeah, I mean, it's not getting taller. I don't know.
It's not gonna.
No, it's the same.
I didn't even know there was one there before. My girl service was so bad. I really didn't know there was one over there. Not that I'm looking. But it's not getting taller.
Not knowing something, it's not.
No. I mean,
But
believe me, I tried.
I'm saying this one is not gonna change.
No.
No. It's what you see. That's where you go to the judge and go, come on. That never works.
I don't know about it.
Doesn't work. So. No, I should have known.
Right, so is the noise only due to the construction or there's the
Yeah.
ongoing building?
Just construction ones.
Okay. So that'll be very brief.
On top of the tower, so that's a slant.
Guys, they're having trouble hearing you in the audience, so.
There's the buzz from the
Okay.
speaker. You can't hear you at all.
I wish something that we were saying was worth hearing. Tower.
Is it, was there nothing coming out over there?
They hear you now, where you this, but actually, it's worse because the speakers think you're calling stuff.
Is the speaker or the lights are buzzing?
Not a, I don't think it's the lights, I think it's the speaker.
Okay, there's a cell tower.
That's where it's at.
That's a good sound.
Yeah.
It's actually worse now, really, really.
It's worse, Jason.
Really, you
made it worse.
You made it worse. Did you just turn it off? Is there?
No.
I think we can record it. We'll just talk about it.
You could have come up closer though. I mean. There's only 4 people, bring up 2 more chairs.
You can send.
Well, if we all move really close, we get the camera on there, we'll look full, or it look like a full audience.
Why not? Well, now you're under that speaker.
Right.
Thanks for saying something.
But now they're close to this and most.
And the energy impact said yes, that's because it's going over 25. And up megawatt hours of interesting.
Okay, he said there's energy impact in this tower.
That's what he said, of course. I mean, it's not gonna be able to broadcast anything
Without the,
but no, there is, it's marked off, yes. Small impacts. Impact on human health, no. Consistency with community plans is no. Yeah, I know, only this thing is, I don't know, who came up with this process.
Says, consider community.
I don't know, you know, this process about the double negatives, but it's just so. It's-
No impact,
fail my class.
no lack of consistency, something. Yeah, the double negative. Please.
And then the part 3 explanation sheet says. Telecommunications equipment to be placed on the existing tower, which had been abandoned. There were previously was telecommunications equipment on the tower. We have no record. It's not. Impact on land, increased energy usage. Impact on noise, odor, light, impact on land are expected to be minor or not.
Okay, so now I'm curious, how was, we had a tower up there that was just abandoned or owned by?
It's right there right now. It's just, they took the last owner stopped using it, so it's just been sitting there unused. Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
new
and it's my understanding they had actually, the tower itself had changed hands recently. So I believe it's the new tower owner that's actively marketing it for co-location, so it can be utilized again.
So how this works is you rent space on that tower from the owner?
Correct. So it depends on who our landlord is, but in this case, it is a tower company that, you know, rents the ground space to build the tower from whoever is the landowner. Sometimes they own it outright, sometimes they don't. And then in other times, in the past, carriers would also negotiate directly with like a landowner. Like if you own, like, say, a 200-acre property, and they wanted to build a cell tower on your site, they'd approach you and go with you directly. There's other companies that do that for cell providers, but in this case, we're leasing from a tower company space on the tower.
Previously, it was. Yeah. But when it was abandoned, we weren't getting fixed. Must have been that.
Maybe it's based on income.
Yeah. Well, good.
So, Melinda's gonna move the resolution. The negative seeker declaration.
I'll second that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then. Next up is the draft resolution for the special use permit. It's approving it, just, at least just the normal conditions. 'Cause it's,
Draft resolution, the special use permit.
yeah, well, I have that, just it's got the, conditions of approval on the second page, so.
Yeah, the 7 conditions at this part of the resolution.
Yeah. 7. Background part, just. Recites everything like we're talking about. What the ownership, etc. So I'll move this resolution.
Second. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And, no. David, do you wanna, you need a couple minutes or we could? You need me to pull up the presentation stuff?
Before you got here, just so you know, resolutions were passed earlier tonight around authorizing you execute documents and agreements for Dryden Fiber and the award shelter site contract. So
Great, thank you.
in case that helps you with your presentation. In case you're ready over it. Okay.
Yeah, no, what is it? It's red. No, we covered it. Thank you.
So I sent the November, which is for the business of Dryden Fiber in the month of October. Earlier today, earlier this evening, I guess, I thought I had done it last week, but there was a reminder of his report, meaning I didn't submit mine or check the website. October is a pretty busy month. We're getting things closer to being ready to build out for Greater Dryden and Caroline, or working on the Caroline hut project. In addition, the groundbreaking in Caroline was in October, and started work in the Fruitville expansion zone in Dryden. So we'll just look at probably like slide 2, 3, 4 from the deck.
Summary and then.
Yeah, sorry. So now 487 paying customers. That was as of November 1st. As of today, I believe we have 504 active paying customers. So congratulations solidly for supporting this, getting us over 500 paying customers. Pro big achievement 2 years ago, before I started, we had less than 20 customers. So pretty good growth. We wish I'd been more this year, but we did change our engineering firm, which had to redesign the entire network. So that slowed things down. We were still able to use what we had for existing green zone opportunity and grow up to 500 so far.
Remind us if you could guess what the total number of potential customers in the town is. You know, we've got 500 out of what, about 5,000?
So there are about 6,000 parcels in town. We're estimating between 7,000 and 7,500 households. We added all the apartments and mobile home parks, MDUs. For instance, the Hillside Acres Park in Varna is 1 parcel, but there's 180 units within that 1 parcel. Willow Brook is 1 parcel here in the village. It has 50 units inside.
500, around 7,000 then possible.
So 7,000. Currently, we can only access about 1,800 parcels. So there are about 500 of those 1,800. So not quite 30% today.
Yeah.
The goal is to get between 50 and 70% take rate across the entire network. That's what fully built out. And just even this week, I heard first and second hand from people who said, "This is great. I'll do it once other people do it that I know are doing it," which is kind of the second or third phase of adoption. You have those people in line for the iPhone, they'll wait all night. Those who are jumping on in advance. And those who, they'll try it and say, "Here about enough." They might not be the first person in line, but they're there. I mean, there's that really majority of people who want to do it early after everyone else has already done it. And then finally, there's the laggards who are really doing, there's no other option. So we're all the early adopters. The challenge we've had is that we have not built enough green zone to reach everybody who wants to service in that early adopter group. As of today, we have over 550 Dryden residents across the entire town, and every neighborhood that have signed up for service where we can't service them yet, over 550 households. So the next bill, we had 0 new parcels in the month of October. So we're remaining at 30.9% of the town where we can reach. The Freeway extension RFP was awarded back on September 18th and work started on October 27th. This is a 900 parcel project that reaches west, northwest, north, and northeast of the village of Fruitville, along West Dryden Road, west of Bone Plain Road, Fruitville Road, all the way to Schofield, and then Fruitville Road all the way east to McLean. Also includes Route 38, Head Hill Road, Ohio School, Ocean, Morris, West Valleyville, North Dutcher, and Route 13 heading to Portland, and Earl Dryden Road. So mostly everything from the village of Fruitville, west, northwest, northeast, and east. The underground portion of that went first. It was ready to go, and we have completely worked for the underground at Meadow and Leisure. In the neighborhood, about 35 total addresses. I think 14 on Meadow and another 21 on Leisure. I think we already have 6 people signed up in advance when it gets placed in and activated. Team is currently on Annie Lane off of North and Northern, off of Route 34. There's 2 other underground neighborhoods in this segment. Next week, the aerial teams will be out stringing aerial fiber and strand along telephone poles across all those roads. We expect that will finish weather permitting and holidays sometime around mid-February to mid-March. The next 2 projects that we'll be bidding out will be what we're calling Greater Dryden. That's every other address that's not currently in the green or in that yellow zone of the Freeville expansion. That's pretty large. It covers areas in Edna, Varna, Sapsucker, and Hillshaw, Ellis Hollow, Cider Hill, Buffalo Grove, Yellow Barn, and 38 South to Dryden and Virgin Road. Yes, so everything else. Now we are putting that out this year. We're in January town board, and we're expecting that work to be completed in 2026. Concurrent to that, we'll be putting out the Caroline project in January. Hopefully by the last meeting in January, the second meeting in January. So Caroline can start following everything else. Well, the people that who wins the bids will have 3 distinct teams working, one to finish up Freeville expansion, one to work Greater Dryden, and one to work in Caroline. This all at the same time in March and April. And then as each project goes off, those teams can be reassigned to newer parts that have to get done by the end of the year.
So Greater Dryden was everything.
Everything else.
That's the good job.
Yep. It also includes what we call the Loop 13 Island. That is between Pinckney Road on Route 13 and the village of Dryden town line. This area is currently served by Spectrum. There's a single house in that stretch that is unserved or underserved, so it didn't have prioritization, but it will get added to this to be reached. Let's go through the business part of the business part of our business. There are a lot of businesses on Route 13 that already signed up to reach them. Following that, concurrent to that is our work with MDUs. And MDUs are multiple dwelling units. So those parcels where it looks like one parcel on the map, but there's many more. Sometimes it's 4-unit or 6-unit apartments. Sometimes it's apartment buildings, like on Lake Street here in the village. Sometimes it's a mobile home park with anywhere from 20 to over 100 units. Those require their own engineering as well as their own permission from the landowner. We don't go into those private properties, whether they're private buildings or mobile home parks, until we talk to the property owner. They've given us the okay to talk about what we would do there. We'll bring in engineering and construction teams to assess how we would bring service in. And then depending on the size of the project, bid that work out for construction to do as a side project beyond the main route construction. Currently about 25 of these MDU opportunities that we're working through right now. Across town from Varna to Fruitville to McLean and then here in the village. The Empire State Development, item next is we have received the final version of the grant disbursement agreement. They will be sending us the signed version from Empire State Development's treasury team, which we can then countersign, execute. We will then be able to submit our first reimbursement request. The reimbursement request will be about $1.9 million. Most of that going to the Dryden portion of the project for design and a little bit of construction. We expect that to be submitted in January, but we paid us in March, which means reimbursement 2, 3, and 4 will all be done probably next year. The reimbursement will be done either at the end of next year or the beginning of 2027. Remember, that's the $12.6 million project that funds about $4 million in Dryden and about $8.5 million in Caroline. That's everything from that slide. Sure.
Did, I might have missed it, but how did it work out with INHS and the apartment complex is going up? Is that still up in the air on whether or not they're in final service?
There's no other. We have to do this. So, given the email population that we were selected to be the provider of broadband internet to 53 units in Varna at the INHS Varna project. It's 3 buildings, but it's 2 8-unit buildings and 1 37-unit building at the intersection of Fleas Road and 366. Then went to our legal team, since we're the ones who are doing the work. We put together a proposal, so the INHS so they'll for their legal team to review and provide red lines. Hopefully we'll have that before this board sometime in December or January, and then move forward. They're a little bit behind on where they are in construction. They don't need us to get to where they are yet. We're kind of building toward where they're going. So we're not behind or anything, but we did secure a written verbal. We got it.
Congratulations.
This is our first those 3 apartment type of opportunity. They're going to pay us a flat fee in every unit. All 50 units will have access to Dryden Fiber on our standard tier. And then if residents would like to increase and buy a higher tier, they can do that from customers directly with us versus getting it kind of wholesale through the building.
Now, we'll need to have some permanent hardware there, right? Some sort of terminal where you be in and goes to the various units.
That's right.
They're giving us space.
Well, I suppose.
Like a platform or something.
Buildings like this tend to have a utility zone that has all their power, electric, natural gas, phones, cable, all those one single room. We're going to that room too. And as they build the building, they'll have some kind of a conduit or run between that utility room, each unit, all 8 units into the 2 smaller buildings, and then all 37 units. So we can bring service right to the individual units.
So our equipment will go there. It'll be still our equipment.
Yes,
There will
that's right.
for a term, 20 years. Discuss that.
It's a good question. I can bring up our attorneys.
This is also new territory.
Very much. Yep.
It's really great.
So it's exciting. The next slides are on. Maybe that's my time.
No, I just
No.
people see your face.
I'm sorry, people see the left side of me from the camera. The score board has not changed dramatically as we're not doing our construction in October, but this will continue to change as we get closer and closer to the next slide. The thing if I do is this, I did update this as of today. So this is the amount of days we have left until the MIP grant has to be completed. So it's 1 year and 1 month and 10 days. So we're getting close. But I'm still very confident with our engineering firm who's project managing this on the engineering and design side and QA side, as well as from our construction partners. They believe this is not an insurmountable amount of work to do in the next 40 days.
They don't.
You know, that this is doable. Most of the reasons for the delays previous to this year were that we just did not have the materials to the construction companies very quickly. They would get segments and then they would wait for months to get more segments and they just wouldn't have work to do. Or they'd be in single line construction, it just says go down this road. And if they had a roadblock, they'd have to wait until that roadblock was unblocked. With this new format, they're going to get like a dozen workbooks so they can move all into the Freeway expansion zone. And if there happens to be an issue with permitting or right of way or whether on a particular road, they go to the project and continue working.
Like you've been busy setting up a new machine.
We believe this will improve the speed of construction between 8 and 16 times faster than previously. And we'll know that remarkably because it took 3 years to reach 30% of the town. We're going to reach the other 70% of the town in about a year. So much faster. By that, there are a lot of vehicles out there. As I've said in the last couple of months, there are 2 companies doing electrical make ready. That's the work to make room on electrical poles, utility poles for our services. You'll see vehicles from Danella as well as HRS, Trish and Son. They're going to poles ready for us, including forestry work. HRS has a forestry division, so you'll see HRS forestry trucks out clearing these lines and these poles for us. In addition, because we're doing this work, and most of these poles are owned by NYSEG, and NYSEG has enlisted iron work, which is their true subcontractor. You'll see those vehicles all over Dryden and all over Caroline. In addition, you'll see vehicles from our engineering partner Vantage. They currently have 5 engineers on site working on the maps and the plans to get everything ready for construction. Full effort across the board. I think a couple more slides in the middle of the other deck for a report on media. So the next slide should be the goals for 2025. We had initially of 1,000 customers this year because of the slowdown of new construction. Those early adopters and in the early majority have not signed on because we haven't built a new green area for them. And so we're moving our way down the marketing pipeline to get people to continue to sign up. We're doing things that change rapidly. This Freeway expansion portion has 900 parcels, where we have over 75 people signed up in that zone. And that's before we even opened it to 1 customer. And I think it's the highest level of like pre-registration in an area we ever had. So once we turn it on, those 75 will be scheduled basically right away. And then probably another 300 will come online shortly after, through 30%. That should bring us to close to 1,000 by sometime around April. And 500 we have now, plus another 300 or 400 from that group. I think there's one more slide to talk to on this deck. And the next one. This is the same coverage from previous, which is working on it. We have the GDA. Across the street, there was deck I sent out a report on Monday, October 7th. The team from Dryden Fiber had a groundbreaking event in Caroline where their central office will do. The central office is the building that houses all the switches and servers for servicing all 1,200 parcels or 1,500 households in the town of Caroline. It's an extension of our project. It'll be the 5th node and 5th pop on the network. If you bring up the report on the media coverage, pretty strong coverage. I was interviewed on WCU the following Monday. I was on the Syracuse TV the following Thursday. It was picked up with Hopkins Weekly, as well as Ithaca Voice and Ithaca Times. Do you have that other stats report? That one. Let's see. Yeah, the next slide. This is all the coverage just between October 27th and November 9th. And the next slide has the estimated counts of the reach between the county populations and the reported reach from some of these publications coming in just around 500,000 impressions over the 2-week period about the project. We are doing our best to be very fiscally conservative on our marketing and sales and PR spend. So these kind of events are huge for generating impressions. You'll see in the December report that between October 28th, when we had the groundbreaking on the 27th on that news, and today we've had, I think, over 150 new signups, which is our strongest month since last January.
Pays to get in the news.
Definitely helps to get the word out there. Town of Caroline, since we started marketing for Caroline about a year ago, they have over 150 people signed up on their own. So we're really going to be good on helping them get people on board. And the last thing that is not on the agenda, but I'll bring in December, is last year, the town board approved at the December meeting to include a letter to residents in the tax bill. And we'll do that again this year. It became our single most effective use a piece of marketing since the project started. I am going through the list of what we now have available in January, and I realized that we had people signing up for their tax bill on December 27th, 28th, and 29th. They were signing up at 10 p.m. on New Year's Eve to sign up for Guiding Fiber, and someone did sign up at 2 a.m. on New Year's Day. What better thing to do than someone and then sign up for Dryden Fiber? We'd like to do that again if that works.
Yeah.
We'll have that draft for you sometime next week.
Draft of the letter. Great.
That's all for this month.
Thank you. Then there's this next bit. So there was the Cassie, was able to get a quote. Woman, she hunted around to get more than one word, one company provide a quote for improving the audio visual.
So there's a quote to fix the sound in here.
So if you can hear me. The thing is, there's a quote, yeah, it's gonna improve that. It is more than what we budgeted for budget.
Can't we just get like an Apple Sound Pod or something? I'm sort of kidding.
No, I know, there's a lot of different ways to do it, so I mean. Put this on since I think this would probably be the top amount, I think that's a 26,000. Yeah. Yes, and it doesn't, I think it's still using this system with the screen.
It's probably a better way. So this is one quote. That's
Yeah,
it's in the waste you're confused, but if we get additional quotes. You will okay.
yeah. So. I still want to talk with Lansing, just because the way I noticed how they do theirs, they have a camera in the back, but we need. A screen like that, either continue to use this or get a big. Monitor like we have in the courthouses. The courthouses have basically a larger version of the thing that.
Who designed counts? That's a great system.
That I don't know, but I know like Town of Ithaca did theirs in house. They just did it with me. So.
We have our people put it in.
That'd be us, right?
Yeah. No, but it's,
Here's what the county did and
we just don't need screens that big.
I know, but maybe they have somebody there with voting us.
But they have an IT.
They should be.
So it's.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, and be great to have opportunity for any things to share.
Share.
Consolidation, I don't know, all those things we talk. Meeting.
Maybe they have extra screens they don't use any.
We can pass a strongly worded resolution. T-cog,
Oh, because that's effective.
actually it has.
I mean, Cassie, they came out to look at the room too. So.
Yeah, they did. And I did only get this one quote because Highway Hi-Fi in Ithaca, I had an appointment with them twice and they were both no call, no shows. So I think they're just really busy, but they didn't come to the appointment to look at the room. And then the other company that I requested a quote from cannot start work for at least 6 months. So that's kind of defeating the purpose of us trying to get this done quickly. You know, just tonight, it's hard to hear from Zoom everything that you guys are saying. So it's kind of imperative. We've had a couple of videos. If you'd like, go to some of the town board YouTube recordings that Lauren posts, and you'll see how horrible the audio is for those on Zoom. So, you know, this is the only quote that I have, but there are a couple of different options inside that quote. Maybe we don't have to use everything. And also, you know, I requested maybe just doing an owl or something along those lines. And the technician said, because of the size of the room and the way everything is set up, a device like that just won't work.
I mean, ideally, if we did it, something like what the town of Lansing did, using YouTube. Better microphones. Yeah, people just got our system kind of patched together.
Because the mics, there's something very screwy if you're on Zoom with the mics, that it's garbled, it's muffled.
Yes, very much so.
Which is just weird because we hear you fine and it's running. Yeah, it's not running mic, but it's just like the audio stream is gonna be.
Maybe we all need to be wearing Apple earbuds, connecting to our computer.
Yeah. Another big part of it that I think is important to think about is there are multiple different groups trying to meet in this room. And, you know, if Jason's not at a meeting or Ray's not at a meeting, not everybody knows how to set the system up. There was recently I think it was a planning board or ZAG meeting, and the normal chair couldn't be there. So the whole meeting didn't even get recorded because nobody knew how to set it up. So this quote will also include a system that is easy to use for everybody. One computer, one login, set it all up, press start and go.
The system that's being proposed right now. The
Yeah.
26,000. Yeah, that's what we want. I think we just need to turn over a couple more rocks and see if there are any other options.
Yeah, and then there are some, there's probably this quote, like that's the basic part of it. There are 2 additional options too. One of them has to do with camera auto switching, and then the other is a ceiling mounted mic. But the problem I think with ceiling mounted one over where the audience is if it's gonna pick up like when people are whispering back there during the meeting. I wonder if it would do that. So I don't think we would necessarily want that.
So we know what they're saying.
No, I can only tell what they're saying. My hair's not that bad yet. I'm getting there, trying. But it'll be picked up on the mic and then drown out other stuff. That's something get that. I think, well, I don't think we'd want that. But like the camera auto switching might be something to think about, just because if it's gonna, like the way an owl would work, if you have an owl type camera, it'll go to the person who's speaking. So if you have one that's facing us, it'll go to whoever talking and then I guess if we had one go into the audience. Do that or not. All right, those two options are additional to the 26,000.
That's an addition.
Yeah, so the camera one is another. 5,500, just, no, just, no.
What?
Yeah.
Well, how do we want to leave this? I mean, I suppose I could reach out to the county and see if they can advise us.
Yeah,
Call Highway Hi-Fi one more time and give them one more try, if you'd like that as well, since they're so local. Maybe it was just an accident, missed the meeting. That could give us another option. But if you said, Dan, you said Lansing just redid their system.
I don't know how soon they did it, but I was watching their meeting last night and I thought it worked, you know, and it wasn't perfect. They don't use an owl as
Yeah,
Jason said, you know, if we could improve that camera angle, that would be better. They just have a camera mounted at the back of the room that catches the entire room.
Okay,
But it's accessible on the internet through YouTube. I didn't think the audio was particularly great. It's kind of hard to hear.
yeah.
But,
okay.
yeah, we want to do better than Lansing.
But I think the other thing I thought of today too, but Arthur Summers on the broadband committee, he works for a company that I think they do audio visual installations. So he might, I could reach out to him. I mean, I'm not gonna be able to be on the meeting tomorrow, because I gotta, the broadband meeting tomorrow, because I got a trial, but, but I think I first thought about that today, because I remember when I talked to him at the Freeville there, he mentioned that's where he was. He might,
Jason, I can reach out to him if you'd like.
oh
to
yeah,
get it started, and then I'll see what he says.
that'd be cool, because he might actually bring some ideas too, even if, but that, I remember he was mentioning that that's what his company does. Like, they at least do the audio part. I don't know. They can't imagine they wouldn't do some video thing too. But,
Well, I just sent a note to some county staff to find out who to talk to.
oh, okay. All right. So what, because I think if we can try to wrap it up. This up by the last December meeting. Get it worked on in January.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. We need to fix it.
We just might need to appropriate, we borrow. Anyway, the 15,000 we allocated for this year, which we didn't use, this would be applied towards what we would just potentially need to.
Potentially, yeah, let's find out.
Roll it over.
Yeah. Well, they'll get rolled over, but then we will need to do a fund balance, or another budget mod or something else.
Sure.
So. yeah. All right, then we can just go through the board updates and then citizens. For the, so we just start with housing, let's go down. Yeah, list.
I don't have any action being done in the community, in the affordable workforce housing. We just had a conversation about the report done by SAG Group. And then we had a conversation about the status of the RFP for the CASI draft. So quickly. Nothing. Okay.
Remember that you're gonna be going to the countdown thing, because of the, they're giving it on board.
I will go over to that. I already.
I can go too, but.
Are we getting an award?
No, we're in an
I don't
award.
know whether it's like recognition or something, for the
It's a
housing committee, but I guess because we're part of the,
Come back.
the compact. So, yeah,
When is that?
December 6th.
Yes, it's in Demopolis, 10 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
We may have donuts if you want.
Donuts.
Yeah.
I like the side. It's been a while.
Spring, yes.
So we had a good meeting. There was some feedback around concerns about, conservation easement. That I followed up, talked to Ray about earlier, suggestions on potentially strengthening the language, for future conservation easements. The meeting was the end of October, but, the, planting Bob Beck's tree planting memorial was November 8th. But the bench and the plaque and the unveiling will be done in the spring weather. Those are the main things we talked about, other than more discussion around next month's discussions we're going to be having around the data centers. And feedback around the potential zoning for that. There was some discussion around concerns about animal control laws coming up and animal welfare coming up at one of the other board meetings, and a suggestion that maybe the dispute resolution center could be engaged to help address those concerns that really are not town law to be dealt with. Other than that, I'm good.
Yeah, the zoning advisory group still meets, and we are starting to plan out the phase 2 of our zoning law update. Phase 1 is most of us know, we want the data centers of battery storage facilities. But the phase 2 is more about housing, and get a session basically outlining that process. We got about a third of the way through. We're in that much, right?
It's a large scene.
All right, I'm being optimistic. It's a long process going through what we want to address. The scope of phase 2. Great effort by everyone. On input. Is anything? Any other big zoning, planning department things?
I mean, actually, we're starting to plan for the next repair cafe in April.
Great. Rail trail, we just met this week and went over the details about this with 13 Bridge, as I just mentioned, and just excitement about that. Possible finding a vendor or a contractor in December and starting to work as soon as possible. We are working on phase 3 aspect of the Dryden Rail Trail and going forward with a design on how to complete the remaining sections. Keep we were up to Freeville. And there's a lot of good effort, good outreach, and look to put in another transportation access program.
Yeah.
Transportation alternative.
Alternatives program grant to fund phase 3 and 2026. A lot of really great work going on concerning what we call the NYSEG washout, and a project that's come together through Cornell Engineering Department and the Professor Emeritus Charlie Troutman. Yeah, innovative things and that would become kind of a lot less than what we would have had in the very exciting. Yeah, that's the main stuff.
Stina.
And already.
Oh, what?
Or the ag.
Ag.
Oh, ag, oh. Okay, I thought we did combine that one. We do that, yeah, ag didn't meet this month, and then GRYC, their big thing of what we dealt with last week with the CHA is the we'll be doing the grant applications for the funding for the fields behind town. They meet again. So we're in the November meeting, up to the first week of, so. So it'll be a little bit more necessary.
And I'll just add a TCOG update, as I like to brag about the work people say TCOG doesn't do anything, but the resolution that I had introduced about biosolids and spreading waste from municipal sewage processing, solids that are left over are contaminated, and without prevention, they can be spread on farmland, and then they wind up on our dinner plate. So I brought in a expert on this to TCOG, and this woman from the Environmental Advocates of New York, Claire Winslow, Walsh Winslow, gave a great presentation that got a unanimous consent from TCOG to pass a resolution on to Hopkins County and New York State Legislature. But the county acted on this, and they're passing a local law on this. And I'm pretty proud of that. It's pretty, they want to prohibit and ban the spreading of municipal sewage sludge, and that's a way that the town can advocate and build coalitions across our county and get the county to do things that they might not have thought of doing. Nope, not that they didn't want to do it.
They're long overdue. Great news. Thank you.
All right, citizens report.
Good, I think.
You're the only person here who's like, I mean, you folks. So is there anything you wanted to say to the board? I mean, for citizens privilege, if there's anything you want to bring up to the board, because otherwise we got nothing else on the agenda.
They did. But yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah, we're kind of, I'm kind of used to it.
Well, we didn't see this. Well, we certainly didn't know what would happen in Lansing when our issue came up, but for us, the timing was, we were updating our zoning anyway, and it made sense to incorporate this into our zoning. And that's what we're doing. I think it's a reasonable thing to address crypto mining and data processing in our zoning law. Yeah, it's just like battery storage. That wasn't in our zoning law either because it wasn't a thing. And now we're updating our zoning law to address that. Housing and a whole host of things that need to happen in our zoning law.
Thanks for coming tonight.
Yeah. Sure.
So
What a great question.
years ago, we had rail going right through this town and going north. Probably know, crisscrossing this town, and in the 1950s, they pulled up the the steel rails and left the bed in place, of course. And they pulled up a lot of the ties too, but the rail beds remained in place and probably not with a lot of foresight. We gave up the easements as well back in the 70s, right? Like late 70s, and it would have been nice if the town had held on to those, but no, nonetheless, we noticed that a lot of people do walk on these trails, whether they should or not. And a few of us started to get the idea that they could be converted into pedestrian walk trails, like they are in other parts of the country, actually parts of the region. So we have been slowly gathering the easements back and creating this network of trails. It's not yet complete, but when finished, it'll be about a 14-mile trail from Dryden Lake up through the village of Dryden, across Tweedville, down through Etna, over to Varna, and then down to Ithaca, Cornell campus. And it's a commuter trail as well as a recreational trail. So received a lot of grant money, close to 3.5 million, 3.5 million in grant money so far to do this project. And, it's a long-term plan. And we have no plans to pave, but we want to use crushed stone, which might not be great for road racing bikes, but you know, a hybrid bike would be fine on that, a commuter style bike. An e-bike.
Most sections of it have some sort of crushed stone on it, but there are a few sections that are grass. Like if you go if you start at Agway and you start walking towards the lake, that section is grass.
Yeah, we're not done with that though. That's the phase 3. And when we apply for additional grant money, the goal is to have the entire thing crushed stone. So that's a smooth surface. It's usable in many ways right now between Village of Dryden and Village of Freedom. You can certainly get out there and run and walk your dog or something like that, but you can't really commute on it.
If you hang out for a minute after the meeting, I'll show you a map.
There's also a website, drydenrailtrail.org.
It could be done in 2026, but and that will change the everything. You know, because people go under that bridge and they'll probably see some sort of symbolism about the town of Dryden, and they'll know where they are and know that they're not in Ithaca. Nothing wrong with being in it. Yeah. Yeah. So we just all see this as a quality of life thing, something that we can invest in to make this place. Wow. Stay when they retire or move when they're raising the family.
South Hill one is expanding, which will go through part of Dryden as well, out to the county line.
Yep.
That's happening right now, isn't it?
Yeah, but
The South Hill Trail is expanding out to through the county line, but that's gonna go for part of Dryden.
yeah. Oh, yeah, they do it.
They do in Ithaca.
This here.
But to get to the one on the other side of 79, you gotta go all the way to Ithaca and then back out again. Yeah,
Correct.
but it'll only take you as, yep. 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 Cross 79. Doesn't cross 79. I know you're,
Yeah, this is all, they all know this, that it's
There's so many trails. You can go all over the place. It's really awesome. Right, that's getting extended all the way through Slaterville. Which one? Some, because there's one that goes from Binghamton all the way down to the.
Are you from Dayton?
So really, right.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right.
I got red.
And are you here working on a government project?
That should be Dan. That
Yeah,
should be Dan.
once you get a taste of this, so you just want more. So we love you to volunteer on board. Public policy, public administration, politics. So. Yeah. So, yeah, any questions you have, feel free to come back. Stay involved.
There's committees to join. There's so much to do.
We have a recreation and youth committee that, could use younger voices, climate action team that's very active on projects like that. But, ease yourself in. We don't want to give you too much to say. This group meets twice a month.
Yeah.
But then we have all these subcommittees that meet once a month.
But there are other ways to get involved too, like they need people who will help with the working elections and working at voter registration places, so there's lots of.
There's lots to do.
Great, very cool.
I'm gonna bring my computer around too.
Hey, so I guess we're gonna adjourn meeting and.
Is that like intentional up there?
Yeah, stick to what?
Is that intentional? Your face.
Yeah, I'm doing this. It's like,
Very subtle, Jason.
talk to the hand.